Good morning. Ooh, all the essential oil was right on the top. Forgot to shake it. Oh, so many tears this morning, y'all. I have some things to say for you. Good morning. Good morning, Christina. I got some stuff on my heart for you guys this morning. I just finished bawling and jamming out to my music and dancing. That is the energy this morning. Good morning, Laura. All right, I'm coming to find y'all. What just started? I have to remember the time because I have an interview this morning that I gotta hop on right after this. Okay. Hold on, I still haven't found you. 1 second. Good morning. Okay, I feel like a lot of people are gonna identify with this, and I'm really hoping that this helps people who are feeling this particular way. It's something I've experienced many, many times, but I just thought this morning, like, wow, that's interesting. I never really talked about this specific thing, and I feel like it's a really kind of a big deal. So there's this thing that happens, good morning, when you're expanding and growing in your life, when you're showing up, there's these really painful moments that happen like in cycles. And it's this feeling of kind of like, I don't know myself, or I don't resonate with how I'm showing up in life, or I don't like how I'm showing up in life. It can be any of those. Like, I'm confused by it. I don't really know who I am or what I'm here and what I'm meant to do, or I don't like how I'm showing out, or like I've kind of outgrown a particular, like I've outgrown the season of this person that, you know, I'm in this current moment right here. And it's honestly can be incredibly painful for us to experience that and to go through that. And so I'm wondering who here has gone through a season of feeling like I don't know who I am, or I'm really done, like not one more day am I going to show up this particular way. And here's the thing that I feel like most people don't understand. They beat themselves up because they don't understand this, right? Like, first of all, people who are complacent and not showing up really big in life, they don't experience this very much because there's no tension between how they're currently being and the vision they have of themselves and where they're going. So they don't feel tension. So they don't feel that pain that we're talking about right now, that pain of like not knowing who you are, right? So here's the thing. I was trying to think like, how can I explain this in a way that's really simple and will like cut through everything without taking forever. Ooh, I forgot to share this. Let me share this really quick. Okay, so if you're new to me, let me know below so I can say hi to you. Yes, I was crying this morning, and yes, I was jamming to my music and I was dancing and I was letting all these emotions around this out. And this is a really powerful concept that I think will help break you free of that feeling. So let me just share this really quick. If you're in my community already, if you've been tracking with me, say hi to me, send me some love. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay, so I can track with you after. All right, let me just share this on my page really quick. Okay, it's shared. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you 2 things. When I was younger, it was like I was the kind of, you know, like the blonde girl, she's kind of stupid, don't take her serious, like she's just pretty, like that's like her value. And a lot of like trauma, abusive stuff like that. So when I grew up, it was kind of a belief that I had that I wasn't able to be successful. I wasn't really gonna ever like be of value to the world, right? So that was where I started. Then as I began growing and expanding, I went to a community college, I went to a state college, I went to a university, I got accepted into the nursing program, I got accepted into the neuroscience program. And so like, as I did this, my confidence grew and grew and grew, and I started to expand, and I started to realize that I had a lot more value than I had realized. Now, that's pretty, like people can understand that, like, I kept changing and I would just keep going to the next level and going to the next level and going to the next level. And throughout my life, people consistently said to me like, oh, you never stick with anything. You don't stick with relationships. You don't stick with boyfriends. Every boyfriend you had, there's like a 3-week period. I can pretty much predict when you're going to break up with them. You do the same thing with your career. You do the same thing in college. You never know what you're doing. And like, they would tease me, but I knew what I was doing, right? I basically went through life like this, not listening, because what was happening my whole entire life was I would learn how to be a little bit healthier. I would learn how to be a little bit smarter. I would learn how to be a little bit more successful. And instead of listening to them, I just blocked all of them out and I would leap every single time. I would just go to that next thing and just keep ignoring them. And I would just keep scaling and scaling and scaling. And nobody ever thought I would be in university going to like a neuroscience program. Nobody ever thought I would do anything like that, let alone launch a business like this and have this level of success. That's pretty easy to understand, right? Like everybody can basically track with that. What I feel like people have more time, or especially as an entrepreneur, if you're the product, if you're doing sales, if you're building an online business, or you're I'm in the shower, but I'm with you. It's dark night of the soul. Yes. I'm glad you're here then, Laura. Yes, this, okay? What I feel like people are having trouble understanding is it's easy to see in what's familiar. Like our grandparents understood college and getting a good job. Our parents understood like, let's go to college, let's become a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever. Like this is what's good, this is what's successful. You'll get tons of kudos for this. Like it's all knowledge-based, it's all like corporate business-based, or some kind of like professional field-based, and you'll get tons of kudos for that. Now we have this whole entrepreneur field, and there's the same level of showing up and being committed and expanding and keep going to that next level that people will criticize and judge you for, just like they did to me in the regular, expansion period. But it's so much more mysterious because nobody's talking about it. So like this morning when I was just crying a little bit, and I was just, feeling this sense of like, I've outgrown who I just was and I'm stepping into something new now. And really like a sense of like, okay, God, I'm ready for you to finish what you started in my heart. Like I'm ready to be different. I'm feeling the tension of like who I just was. I've outgrown that. It doesn't feel any different than when I was like, oh my God, maybe I'm not going to be, a physical therapist assistant that can only ever make $13 an hour. Maybe I want to go to nursing. And everybody was like, stop, you already started this program, just finish this program. And I was like, no, I'm bailing on this program. I'm going to the nursing program. And then I got accepted. Then when I was in the nursing program, I was like, maybe I don't want to work in a hospital with a bunch of 6 people all the time and be getting shots and giving shots to 91-year-olds that I feel like aren't serving them. And my belief system was way different than theirs. And like, I didn't like the energy and it was like stressful. Like maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I can find something better than this. And then I went into neuroscience, and then I felt the same in neuroscience. It's the same thing in this business. It's the same thing as a human being expanding and evolving as a human being, right? So like, here's just really vulnerable, honest stuff. I'm literally just gonna say it to you like you're my best friend and we're having a chat. There's a big level of trust going on here. Okay, so when I was first starting doing this, there was still so many big parts of me that did not feel worthy, like didn't feel like did not identify with being a wealthy human being, did not feel like a leader or like a teacher or somebody who would be actually like handing down massive levels of wisdom that could actually transform your life or that could actually bring wealth into your life. And I didn't like identify with that really. So there was such a big part of me still that was like, yeah, I'm going to give this to you. And I was good with like charging decent prices and my business was successful, but I was still always trying to evolve out of like the stupid welfare girl. Right? Like that's how I felt. Like if blunt language, like that's how I felt. Yes, I hear you, Shaniqua. I'm glad you're here. Heart to heart, okay? So I had always inside felt like the girl that could be used and discarded, that wouldn't be protected, that nobody would care if bad things happened to, that my success would be futile and it wouldn't really matter. And then also on top of that, like a lot of old, really deep Christian principles and beliefs and guilt trips and dogma instilled in me, right? So there has been a massive amount of things that were required for me to expand and grow through. And what was required out of me for each of those phases has been very different, right? So just like I was really sure I wanted, and like, if I hadn't, good morning, Taylor. If I hadn't gone to community college and signed up to be a physical therapist assistant, I would have never built the confidence of being a physical therapist assistant that gave me the confidence to apply for nursing. If I had never gone to nursing school, I would have never built the confidence to go to the neuroscience program. If I never went to the neuroscience program, I would have never built the confidence to start my own business. So like each step of the way, I was expanding and outgrowing myself, and none of those were a fit, but they were all necessary for me. They were all a massive part of my journey. And it's the same thing in your business. It's the same thing with you as a human being in your life. You're allowed to be in whatever phase that you're currently in your life. Like whatever it is that you're really going through and that you feel like is like, this is just the current. Okay, I'll give you an example. I'll make it a lot easier to understand. In the beginning, it was really about me learning to create boundaries in my life and to feel like I was worthy to have the time I needed for me to be happy. That was what it was really about in the beginning. So who I needed to be was the kind of woman that was very like nope, I was a little bit defensive, and I was a little bit like curt, right? I had to be kind of like firm because I didn't know how to create those boundaries in like an easygoing way. I didn't have the confidence to do that or the skill to do that. So I became this very like person, in my life. And I needed to be that person for a little while so that I could grow the confidence to get to the next level. But eventually it stopped feeling good to be like firm and curt that way. Like that didn't feel good anymore. What felt really good after that was really being able to do life with other people, right? So it started shifting into this doing life with other people because I stopped feeling like everybody was going to drag me down with them. So then it was more a very inclusive energy and doing life with other people. And then I expanded into this period of I have wealth, and who am I as a wealthy woman? So then it was like, well, what was required out of me to break through the patterns and the stories that were making me feel like I was less than and like didn't deserve to have the experience of wealthy people? So in that phase, it was really like I was going through, am I allowed to look my best? Is it safe for me to try to look good? Who would I be if I was carrying a Chanel purse? Like, what if I own a beautiful home in the tropics? Who am I as this human being? Because I didn't really know. And there was so much of me that was struggling to embrace, I was feeling confused, okay, I know that I have this much income coming in, the business has this success, but I still feel kind of like the welfare girl, and I'm just kind of confused how to put these two worlds together. So then what was required out of me was really this phase of wild, massive freedom and basically don't fucking put your shit on me, right? Don't fucking tell me what I'm allowed to do, what I'm not allowed to do, and don't try to fucking put your labels on me because that shit ain't gonna stick anymore. And really just breaking through all of that stuff. And I had that wave of energy and that, and at that time served the audience that was also needing that energy in order to go through that phase. And then like everything else, it started to not feel so good anymore. It just didn't feel the same. It started to not feel as good. And then that's the moment we're talking about. Those moments of I was kind of identifying as that person. So now, don't put your shit on me. Shitting all over me. So then it was who am I then? And now there's no more welfare girl left in me. There's no more, I identify with the wealthy parts of me and the successful part of me. And I feel like I am her. I've embraced her. I've become her. So then once I've completely embraced that and embodied that and I've transitioned through that phase, then it's okay, what's next for me? And so many people mistakenly see this feeling, the feeling this morning when I was crying and I'm just what's next? And I see all these things that are available for me and this is my vision. And right, I'm not trying to see, I can see everything, but I need a vision for myself. What is my new vision for myself? I've outgrown so many places and I grow so fast. And I know you guys feel this, right? You grow so fast and the people around you kind of don't, and you're just expanding and you can see all the things and you have this vision for yourself, but you want the vision to expand and you just want to love everybody and you want your love and your heat and the fire that's inside of you to just touch everybody in the whole damn world, and you feel like you're only helping a little bit of people, and then you feel how am I going to get there? And then you're frustrated with who you are, you're frustrated with how you're showing up. And what I'm here to remind you guys is that is a precious, valuable, sacred moment. It is no different. Sometimes it's hard for us to see when it's us as human beings, but it's no different than me saying I left the nursing program and I joined the neuroscience at the university. I got accepted to the neuroscience program at the university. It's I've outgrown who I was. I realized that I could do, the kind of life I would have as a nurse wasn't actually in alignment with my biggest vision of myself. It wasn't enough for me. It wasn't good enough for me. That's what it is. I'm just going to say it like it is. There was a time and place where that was a dream and I couldn't even imagine having that kind of job and that kind of income. And then it became a time and place where that wasn't enough for me. Like that was no longer what I wanted. I know I could do better. I know I could have a more closely aligned purpose in my life. I mean, closely aligned day to day, what my day-to-day experience would be like than what it would be like to be a nurse. Right? And I'm not saying anything bad about nurses. I have so much respect. I mean, that's why I went in the field. I think it's a beautiful, incredible field, but I outgrew what that would look like for me. And that's what it is, right? It's no different than when my energy changes in my business and who I am as a woman or as a human being starts to expand and starts to grow. Whereas before, what used to motivate me and what used to inspire me was like, oh my God, imagine if I felt completely free to be as sexy as I wanted to be or as beautiful as I ever wanted to be. And I felt free to try to look beautiful because I was taught that that's like a sin and that's bad and you're gonna hurt people and you shouldn't do that and that's not humble and that's prideful and that's bad and all bad things are gonna happen and you're basically gonna get molested and raped, right? It's like, imagine if I lived that way and I really truly felt free to do that. And imagine if I felt like, if I had a Chanel purse, like what would that feel like? And imagine if I had a big, beautiful home. And imagine if I had this like wild 7-figure business. Like imagine if it was global. Imagine if I had clients that were all around the world. Like that's how it used to feel. And then once you have that, once that is your current experience, it's like, now what? Now what? And what I feel like is people do not give themselves enough credit to recognize all that actually happened was that you did enough work. Like you showed up so big that you've now outgrown who you were and you're stepping into something new. Nothing was wrong. You're always free to change and grow and expand to the next level version of who you are. That doesn't motivate me anymore. And the energy of like hardcore stuff doesn't motivate me anymore. It's like, it's not what's flowing out of me anymore. The devil cat is going at it. But what is like, okay, like, so then it's like just tuning into what does make me like lit up. What is my new vision? You know what I mean? Like, what is my new vision? And this has been my absolute shortcut through all of these waves of growing, because everybody here is going to be, you know, I know y'all are the type of human beings that grow really fast and are expanding really fast, and who you are is changing, and you'll go through different seasons. And sometimes you might look back and be like, let's just not talk about that season right there. And other times you'll look back and you'll be like, yeah, that was a like amazing fun season of that period of growth in my life. And you'll weave in and out of all the parts of you for the rest of your life. It's not like we are one way all the time. However, the thing that has grounded me through all of it is this. I'm just going to tell you guys why I'm always motivated. Why, like this morning, I'm bawling, I'm crying, I'm singing. I'm like, okay, God, what's next? Like I've outgrown who she was. Like I have this vision of really being able to support people in the world, like suppressed women and the 4% in the United States, like are only 4% of CEOs in the United States are women. This drives me crazy. And the people that are in pain, the people who are stuck in dogma and the religious beliefs and they feel like they can't have freedom. And the moms who feel like they're not allowed to have wealth or freedom or success because then they're a crappy mom. And it's painful. It's painful being a human being that loves and cares about other people and isn't quite sure how to support and help them, while they're also struggling with the ideas of how they're going to be wealthy and successful. And what does that look like for them? And what does that mean for them? And how can they be sure that they're going to stay a good person? And how can they be sure that they're not going to make other people triggered and feel like, oh, I'm just trying to sell to you and I only care about money, and what if I really only care about money? And it's just so painful. It can be so painful. And I swear I wake up and this is the thing that grounds me. I'm telling you, most people look at their business like, okay, what is my niche and how am I going to sell and how am I going to, you know, make money, and what is my strategy and what is my plan and what is the energy that I'm bringing to the table and da-da-da. But you know what? The one thing they forget through all of these waves and hey, my cat just bit me. Don't do that. Be good. Through all of these, don't bite me. My son plays with her all the time with his knuckle and she bites him, so now she bites sometimes. Okay, so through all of these waves and changes, the thing that has grounded me and made me come back to myself over and over and over so that it doesn't matter. I'm allowed to grow any phase that I want to. It can be like the my looks phase. It can be the super money phase. It can be the like wealthy things in my life phase. It can be the heart-centered, you know, like really, really like supporting and loving on people phase. It can be the romance and like dating phase or like adjusting my relationships phase. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. This is what I come back to. What I come back to is, what do I actually care about? Why would I be willing to go through all these growth spurts and all of this change any damn way? Why? Morning, Janet. Like, why do I even give a shit to do this? Why do I care? Why am I going to show up after I just was crying and I look like crap, but I'm going to show up on a Facebook Live and I'm telling you guys some really vulnerable shit that like some people could, like, that is just vulnerable. Like, whatever, we're not going to call anything in. It's like very vulnerable shit to share with you guys, right? Because I love you and I'm wanting you to have the same level of growth and experiences and freedom and wealth that I have. And I know there are so many people out there that if they actually just can clear the fog long enough to make wiser decisions for themselves, ask smarter questions and make wise decisions for themselves, that they're going to expand to the next level. And that they don't recognize that the reason it is the way they are is because they don't have anyone challenging the shit going on in their lives. And they're super smart, they're super driven, they're super capable, but there's nothing like putting friction on the way that they believe right now. That's years and years how I lived, until I started having friction to put on the shit that I believe, until something challenged how I believe, until I had things reflected back to me of what was possible and what was available to me. And so every day when I wake up, it's like, how am I reaching more people? How am I waking them up today? All right, God, how are we tag teaming? Let's do this. Like what is the pain point that we're addressing today? What is the way that I can serve my audience so that I can wake them up and they can make like incredible decisions for themselves? There are people that are meant to be in the happy and wealthy experience. It's a year long. It's going to change their life. Whose children's lives need to be touched? Whose husband, whose wife, whose, all their clients and who's all their tribe that are going to, all of their lives are going to be changed because this person went through this experience. Who is it, God? And what do I need to say to that person? What do I need in order for me to feel like I'm vulnerable enough to say what I need to say to my tribe? That I feel brave enough to say what I really have to say to my tribe? That I can expose things, that I can just share the level of wisdom, that I'm not going to be triggered and like, oh, I'm sharing too much. If I share too much, nobody's going to join my programs, right? Like, this is what people think. Like, no, I'm going to save that wisdom for the paid program. No, because when you say it now and you give everything you have to give now and you grow into that next level version of you now, by the time you get to the program and you're running it, you have 10x times the things to say. Like, you're never going to stop expanding and growing. So at each given moment, you always get to give everything that you have to give. Always. You're completely free to do that. And you're completely free to opt in and get it. Like, it's okay for you to go through what, like, you can go too far. Doesn't matter. You can fuck it up. It's not going to matter. Makes no difference. None at all. It never mattered that I went to CCRI to get my physical therapy assistant license and then left and then went to the next place, except for I gained everything I was meant to gain and the confidence and the discipline in that arena in order to get to the next arena. So don't be afraid to outgrow the arena you're in. Don't be afraid to outgrow who you are. Don't be afraid to outgrow the people around you. Don't be afraid to be in that state of like, I don't really know who I fucking am right now. I'm not really sure. This is kind of scary and it's kind of painful and I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. And I'm just going to, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to help people. It's okay. Nothing. Thank you for the love heart shower. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like. Do you know what the alternative is? The alternative of this is actually to be complacent and to not be growing. That's the alternative. The alternative isn't like, I got my shit together and I know who I am and I know what I'm doing. That's not real. That's not a real thing. There's no such thing. That is not real, okay? That is some kind of weird standard that came out of some fucking weird place that we're just gonna let go off to some other planet now. It's not real. What's real is challenging your beliefs and outgrowing things and leaping way before you're ready and being willing to take on, like, it's discombobulating. Like, when I started to question myself around the religious things that I was taught, I'm sure you guys have experienced this. You have a really deep truth that's like, nope, that's just what it is. But then something challenges that and you feel discombobulated. Feels a little bit scary. But like, if that's not true, then I can't trust anything that I believe. And I don't like that feeling, so I'm just not gonna go there. I'm just gonna ignore it and I'm just gonna keep suffocating myself and living trapped in these fucking rules. And then I don't have to worry about it. Then I can just like, well, no, just keep blaming other people is usually what we do. If you're anything like me, then you're just gonna blame all the people around. Well, if my kids weren't so stressful, if I had a different childhood, if things were easier, right? We like to blame all the things around us, but really all that's happening is we're afraid to feel what we feel. And sometimes what that feeling is I don't know who the fuck I am right now. I'm outgrowing some of the old me. I'm outgrowing some of the people in my life. And let's just be real. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been afraid to say this, but I got checked on it. I was like, oh, you can't avoid saying what you are called to say, Mandy. And that is, we gotta get real about how some of the relationships are affecting our lives. Sometimes the reason we feel discombobulated about who we are is because we are connecting and in relationship with people that are not supporting us and are not helping us to expand and grow. And you are too important and valuable to stay in relationships with any other human beings who require you to be dysfunctional in order to maintain that relationship. I'm just saying the thing. We all know it. You already know. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm just saying it out loud so we can look at it. We're just going to look at it instead of hiding it or avoiding it or being like, well, I'm confused. You're not fucking confused. If there's someone in your life who requires you to be dysfunctional in order to stay in a relationship with them, we don't actually stay in a relationship with them. We can be friendly. We can be cordial. There's no need to like be, unless you're in that phase, right? I went through the phase where it was like hard cut off. Don't fucking tell me your shit. I don't want to hear it because it was still going in. I had to put up hard walls. That was okay for that season. Guess what? It only lasted for a season and then I outgrew it and now I know how to do it really lovingly. I can be the sweetest, most loving person and tell you a hard, firm boundary that you will be crystal fucking clear that will not be crossed. It is very easy and very simple for me to do because I don't hesitate and think that I have to defend myself or over-explain or justify my boundary. My boundary is my boundary because it's my boundary. No explanation needed. And so, but I grew into that place because I gave myself permission to be in the other phases. And there's all different parts of me and I've grown and expanded and some things have resonated with people and other things resonated with people and some things didn't. It didn't matter because as I've grown and expanded, it is the human experience, right? It's been my human experience. If it's a human experience, it's going to be a human experience for other people. And when I'm honest and I just keep showing the behind the scenes stuff, it resonates with them and they start to understand I'm not crazy. Nothing's wrong. Everyone ahead of me has gone through the same shit. All the people ahead of me have cried and been like, I don't know who the fuck I am. God, I just want to be different. I want to help people. Everybody's gone through it. Nothing's fucking wrong. You're just growing and expanding and you get to get excited. Like, there's no like, oh, I wasted time. Oh, I wish I had known this before. No, that was exactly how it was meant to be. The season you're in is the season you're meant to be in. It's just a season. You will outgrow it and you will feel a little bit discombobulated. And if you're all over there by yourself, like, and you don't have other people who are going through it, you're going to think that something's wrong and something's wrong with you. And why are you so dramatic or why are you so all over the place? And how come you can't be more linear and the results should look like this and it should have already happened? And then you're allowing dysfunctional relationships to go in. So then it drags you down even more. And then you're wondering why you're not breaking through. And it's this big old messy cycle because we're tribe people. We're not meant to go through life by ourselves. And one of my favorite sayings, I laughed so hard when I heard it, is like, if you have 5 broke friends, you're the 6th. Like, there's no judgment. Everybody gets to have the experience of life they want. But let's just be real about the fact that who you surround yourself with makes a huge difference. Who you're in a romantic relationship with, who your closest friends are, who you spend the most time with, who you get, like, even mentors. And like, what's the influence coming in from the mentorship that you have? Is that in alignment with where you want to go? Are you wanting that kind of energy? Is it a real love, inclusive kind of energy? Or is it kind of like, we're the fucking top of the food chain energy? It's like, none of it's wrong. There's nothing right or wrong. Everybody's free to be exactly who they choose to be and who they want to be. And at different seasons, different things might resonate with you. But you get to be really honest. Does this friendship align with me? And does it support me? Does this romantic relationship align with me? Does it support me? Am I doing better in life? Is there a value exchange that's happening here? Or do I feel like I'm surviving it? Does this mentorship, does this align? Does this mentorship, does it influence me in a way that's bringing out the best parts of me that I love and where I'm trying to go? And are they creating results that are similar to the kind of results that I'm wanting to create? It's safe and it's okay to always do that at any given time. Always. You're always safe and free to do it and to choose today. I don't care if it's like this morning it's one thing and tonight it's another, especially if you're a woman. We're not the same human being a few hours from now as we are right now. That's what it is, especially if it's the week before your period, right? Like, let's just talk real talk here. You're allowed to choose who you are in alignment with right now and what's in alignment for you right now. And then 4 hours later, that might change, but that is part of the growth. That is part of staying in integrity. It didn't have to look linear. You don't have to decide who I am and who my business is right now and that's it for eternity. None of that shit is real. None of it is real. There's no actual, like, my business is niched to this one thing. That's bullshit, right? We're human beings who are expansive and grow and expand, and you're allowed to do all of these things. Relationships, in your business, and you as a human being, all exactly the same. It's all just this big growth process, and you're allowed to weave in and out of and be the human being that's required for you to get through that season and grow through and train through and change through whatever is required of you in that season. And then you outgrow that and it'll feel painful and confusing, and you surround yourself by people who've already done that and who can celebrate with you and remind you, like, hey, nothing's fucking wrong. You just outgrew who you are. Like, you're always going to that next level. Pendulum always swings forward. You're forever expanding. You're never going to stop expanding. you're not gonna stop expanding. So of course you're gonna hit those moments where you're like, shit, I just outgrew that and I shedded that and I feel naked. I don't know what's fucking happening. Expect that. That's expected. And if you don't have someone reminding you of that in the moment, then what? You're gonna think that, oh, look at me, I'm so messy. You're gonna judge yourself. Yes. Feels alone sometimes when others keep talking. Actually, I'm allowing it, not holding a firm boundary. Part of that is like expressing how it feels. Like, I just wanted to let you know that it feels a little bit like you're talking the whole time and you're not really checking in with me. Or, I love when you check in with me more. You could just say that. I love when you let me talk. It's like, can we just be truth fucking tellers? Like, what would life look like if we just genuinely told the truth out of love all the time? Not in a critical, because look, when we don't tell the truth, it seeks out anyway. It's gonna seep right out of you. It's gonna seep out in the ways of like you're binge eating or you're drinking too much or you're whatever, because you're trying to numb the pain, and then you're gonna lash out, or you're gonna make a little comment, right? Little critical comments, or like you're gonna isolate, you're gonna push them away, and you're gonna play the like no, I'm gonna pull away, and then you'll have to, like once you prove to me that you'll come back to me, then maybe I'll give you my attention. It's like all these stupid games. We don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want to have to pull away. You never wanted that. You never wanted to like play these stupid games and be unavailable and all this other bullshit. You just want to be able to be yourself and be loved and accepted for who you are and be cherished and have people want to connect with you and have people really love everything that you have to say and to celebrate your experiences and basically do life with you. Like that's what you want. And you don't want to have to edit yourself, and you don't want to have to pretend that you're more put together than you are, and you don't want to pretend that things are different than they are. It's like you just truly get to be you, who you are right now. You don't have to be any better. You never had to be any further. You get to just be you and serve your people in front of you right now. And if you can just remember, like, what do I actually care about? Just every day, nothing, if you got nothing else from this, just today, why am I doing this today? Why am I showing up as the highest level version of me today? Who am I doing it for? Why am I doing it? If I was living to my truest potential, how would I be showing up today? You don't have to know tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Just what's in integrity today? What is your brave move today? What resources are you pulling in today? What support are you calling in today? What investments are you making today? What boundaries are you setting today? What honest conversations are you having today? What vulnerability are you stepping into today? What are you letting yourself feel today? Power move. Let yourself feel. Tears is one of the most powerful things on the planet. Imagine living a whole life trying to hold back your laughter. Like people try to hold back their tears. It's a natural human emotion. It's silliness. Complete ridiculousness. Yes, I actually just had to reflect on some old hard walls unexpectedly this morning. Yeah, this was heavy on my heart for my tribe today. And I knew I had just cried and was gonna look all crazy, but I didn't care because this is what we're talking about. Exactly, right? Like, do I care about the fact that I look like shit on a Facebook Live, or do I care about the fact that there's a whole world of people out there who are like ready and willing and like looking for the answers, and I have them and I need to fucking connect with them, and like here I am, I'm right here. I just want to be so fucking bright they can all find me if they need me. Like I'm right here. Some of you will just love all the free content, some of you will comment away and engage and love on me and rave about me. Some of you would buy all my programs and never say a word, and some of you will buy all the programs and say all the things. And those are my favorite people. Like that's doing life together, right? And it's fine, though. It's fine. A friend of mine calls it an ecosystem. It's like all the different ways that people show up in your business is your ecosystem of your business. And I thought that was a really brilliant analogy. It's true. All of it's necessary. And I don't care how it is that they engage, because I know as I do life, I'm taken care of. But my mission, why I woke up this morning, my mission in my business was like, love my kids, be my best version of myself. And in my business, it's reach them, teach them, reach them, teach them. How can I support? How can I love? And today it was like, okay, just share the messy shit. Just share the messy shit. Like, this is what it feels like. And then I have such big visions in my head that it scares me. And I'm like, well, how you show up today isn't going to create that, Mandy, right? And I'm tempted to be like, well, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough for all that. Like, how are you really going to affect the 4% CEO number? Like, I'm so hell-bent on doing it, but you don't know how to do that. You're not smart enough to do that. Like, you can't really change legislature, Mandy. You can't really affect the level of starving children in the world. You can't really change the dogma that has gone on for, thousands and thousands of years from Christianity. You can't really help support people to release that fear that they're going to go to hell and take their kids with them to hell, and if I'm successful. You can't really help wake up the fucking wealthy people to be like, no, poor people aren't lazy. They're not fucking lazy. That's not what's happening. And you can't wake up the poor people to be like, Wealthy people aren't fucking entitled, superficial people. That's not what's happening. Like, you can't really do that, Mandy, right? Like, I'm tempted to fall into that. All of us can take that option at any given moment. I just choose to not go there and to allow myself to feel it and cry and let all the emotions out and just be willing and brave enough to look at like, okay, I don't know what this is going to look like. And that doesn't feel that good. It feels a lot better when I'm looking at my business and I'm like, I know exactly how to do all of this. I'm perfectly clear how to reach my goals. That feels good. That's also not realistic. So I'm brave enough to just look at it and be like, I have no idea how I'm going to reach that vision. I'm just going to stay in it. And when I need to cry, I need to cry. When I need to, go work out and get out all the energy, I do. When I need to rest, I do. And when I'm just in like build phase mode, like literally just how do I reach more people, right? Like one of the things was like, I'm just going to ask people on my Facebook Lives to start sharing my lives. Hey, if you got value in this, please share the video. That was one of the things I did. Like, yeah, that would reach more people. So then the people in their community who resonate with this and are looking for support with this, they can find me. Perfect, right? It's like the simplest things. Because my intention is, how do I find more people that are wanting this level of support, that are looking for these answers, that are needing someone who's like, oh my God, she fucking gets me. Like, no, nobody's talking about this. She actually gets it. Right? And like, we need to find other people who are doing life together this way so we can all conglomerate together and do life together. So because that's my intention, it's like, yes, it feels uncomfortable and I don't know how to create that level of change in the world yet. But I know I will. I'll get there because every morning I wake up and my intention is just reach one more person today. How do I just reach one more person today? How can I just love on and support and help break through one more person today? And I show up for my tribe. I show up for my clients. I show up for my community. I hear them well. I see them. I hear the vision that they're calling in. I see the places they're going. I hold that vision for them. I reflect it back to them relentlessly. I do not put it down. I love on them. My intention is to make them feel loved and special and support. I'm there with my team. And then, okay, let's reach the rest of them out there suffering by themselves, not knowing that there's level of support and this level of resource, or they're just not hearing the things that makes them believe it's okay to stay in that level of community. They're isolating. They're worried. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to feel like I'm not part of it. It's vulnerable. I don't want to gauge on your post, Mandy, because if I engage and then you don't comment back, I might feel stupid. Or what if I say the wrong thing? Or like that's one group. And then the other group is basically just like, I'm not in the habit of it, right? I'm just, I'm a badass. I'm banging stuff out. I'm doing stuff. I'm just not in the habit of action. That's definitely another part of it. That would have been true for me, for sure. Both of those would have been true for me. And then the other part of it is like, I'm choosing to actually believe stories that like, I have to maintain this leadership role. Right? I went through that phase where it's like, well, my business is this level of successful now. So now I can't be like engaging on people's stuff because it'll make me look like I'm not successful. It's this weird bullshit story that I pulled in. I don't even know where that came from. Luckily that shit got nipped in the bud really quick because this is about building relationships. If my whole intention is to build relationships with people and to be connected and do life with people, then I might want to be engaging on their shit if it resonates with me. If I see it and I like it or it resonates, I'm going to say something. I'm going to engage. I'm going to comment, right? I'm going to support them in their work and their journey. So yeah, I got to shift that shit really quick. It's all the pieces. It's all the parts. It's so much. I feel like maybe I said it all now. I was ready to go live today. Title, You're Not Going to Hell for Choosing New Beliefs. I know that was weird, but that's what came out. Yes, I would agree. Thank you for your honesty. Keep on. Thanks, mama. I set up a wall in my energetic without responding to or engaging in old patterns with my husband. 2 days later, he comes home on another level, meeting me on the level of where we're heading, not just available for the shit. 100% of the time, it's safe for you to be who you feel integrity with being today and for you to do what, okay. The standard is I never do anything that requires me, oh crap, I gotta go. I never do anything that makes me feel like it's hurting me, like, oh, it's sucking my soul. So if the standard is, I trust my body when my body says that's too far, then I have to learn the skills and the abilities in order to let that be that far. I have to learn boundaries. I have to learn communication skills. I have to learn trust and faith in myself. And I have to stop spinning a bunch of old stories. So it's like we set a new energetic standard for what's available in our lives and how we get to feel. My belief is that I always get to feel happy and have fucking fun. So even when I'm crying and I'm like, what the fuck am I? I'm outgrowing all this. How am I going to do all those things, God? I have no idea. You have to teach me. I don't know. I still am happy because I'm still like, oh, this is like that journey. This is that guttural soul cry because I'm called to do this and I don't know how to do it just yet. And that's an uncomfortable feeling. and I'm just gonna let myself feel those feelings and allow the creativity and allow my soul to guide me as I'm doing this. And I'm gonna continue to keep taking really brave steps and telling the fucking truth as I go. Yes, okay, I really do have to go because I know I love you guys so much in all of these topics, and I know I'll just keep going, but I can't because I have to go get ready for an interview. It's an interview for mothers trying to build their business, which I'm really excited to love on them and support them, because that's another really deep source of pain. Like, how do I be a good mom and be successful? I used to have the story that like all 7-figure women entrepreneurs who are mothers were shitty moms. That was my story. It's silly when I say it now, but I really believed it. I really did. I was your biggest abuser now. No. I feel like I'm honestly everything I am because of my mom. That's really true. I love you, Mom. Okay, guys. Yeah, she is my biggest fan now. You're sweet, Mom. See, I learned my level of honesty and integrity from my mother. Just says the things. She does too. She just says the things. I get so much of it from my mom. Yes, learning boundaries and experiencing resistance daily now. But exercising this boundary setting muscle more consistently now. I love that you just get that it's a muscle. Relationship with my fiance. It's easy for us to know that in our head, but to know it in the moment is completely different. Relationship with my fiance is going through this storm, but loving myself is affecting my business attraction. Yes, Jackie! Ow! I want to hear, I just went live in the group about feeling like a shit mom, the interview. Okay, yeah, and plus I'm happy to do a training in the group as well about that because it is intense, but I will get the recording from her and I'll share it with you guys. I'm sure I'll send it out in my email just to help promo her group because I believe in what she's doing, so I'm happy to promo her as well. Okay, love you, Mom. Love you guys. Have a fantastic day. Oh, snap, sorry. I totally forgot to tell you. Happy and Wealthy Experience starts April 15th. Literally, it's this. It's breaking through the mindset and the shit. It's having someone to be able to coach you in the moment and get back to you. And it's about actually being committed to because look, we're going to step into it and we're going to start doing it. And then the tension or the worries or the whatever hits. And then we're kind of by ourselves and we're not really having that level of instant feedback, instant support in the moment when we're freaking out. And then we kind of waver off a little bit and then we'll get back on track later, which is not ideal. It's ideal to get that instant feedback, have instant community that's there to be able to support you and take care of you, and to have someone who's gone through it and been there to be able to give you feedback directly, because it's very predictable. The things that you do and believe are very predictable because we're human beings, not because you're cliche and predictable, because we're human beings and we have similar human being experiences and similar excuses that we bring up. So it starts April 15th. I'm not sure if my team is on this or not. I'll drop the link below. MandyPerry.com. We have 2 links, so I'm dropping the Happy Experience one. It's going to change your life. You deserve to have support if you feel like you've been at a place where you're looking for someone to reflect back to you the bullshit you're telling yourself, that you're ready to outgrow yourself and you're ready to shift into that new level, have a really clear vision of what you're doing and stepping into that and expanding at that level. And then also having that level of support and accountability as you're going through this. And then to just be constantly hearing these powerful up-leveled concepts that are going to shift you and help you to continue to clear those blocks that are stopping you, block those. And then how do you actually stay in a state where you're happy? Like, we're happy, we're fucking happy every single day. Like, how could I be happy every day? And to embrace the concepts of wealth. So the way that a poor or middle class person that's in a poor middle class family dynamic and belief system structure it's completely different than the wealth mindset. It is completely different. They're not even almost the same. They're completely different rooted belief systems. So we're going into every single week, we're going into the wealth mindset, the concepts of joy and happiness, so that you're actually removing all the blocks that are stopping you from being a wealthy human being and a happy human being, which I don't think there's any, there's wealthy, unhappy, there's happy and poor, and then there's wealthy and happy. I definitely think the standard is wealthy and happy, and I'm just unavailable for anything less for me and for my entire community and tribe. So that's what it is. So that's what this experience is. I've designed it to be massive levels of implementation. So you learn something, you implement it. It's not just a place where I'm going to go and I'm going to learn and I'm just going to build friends. That's great. And we love doing that. And most of us do that just quite naturally. This is support for you to actually implement these into your life with excellence so you have maximum amount of growth and results. Period. End of story. The clients who have done even just a portion of this work have had massive life transformation, massive, because they're actually calling this in and then they're implementing it into their life. And of course, I watch them go through the waves of like, this is amazing, and like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this. And then like, fuck, ugh, because that's what happens. This is why we keep going. And you're gonna go through multiple waves of this in the group, and you're gonna have massive amounts of support to just keep going and keep going. And sometimes it's gonna feel amazing and high and exciting and like buzz. And sometimes it's gonna feel like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this community. And then other times you're gonna be like, it's not fucking working. Because that's what the humans do. That's what us humans do. And like, why is it like this? And this is hard. And why am I trying this anyway? And then we ride that wave, and that's where you need the maximum amount of support. So you're having people that are high-fiving you on the highs, which we need. We need people that can actually celebrate us and aren't triggered by our massive levels of showing up in life and our bigness and our brightness. We need that like oxygen. And then also support and really transformational beliefs and support and community to rally around us when we're going through that low season and we're trying to rise back up, when we're in the squeeze, when we've worked hard enough that now our nervous system is freaking out and trying to pull us back to where we were, right? Like that is the intention. This is why this is so powerful. This is why people are getting such massive breakthroughs, because it's that level of having support and community and freedom for you to just do as good as you epically could or to fail as bad as you possibly could, and none of it matters, and you're fully supported, and you actually just get to keep transforming to that next level over and over and over and over. It is so fun. It is so epic, and I just can't wait to get to know the people that join this program. So the link is in the comments. Let me know if you join so I can say hi to you, okay? All right, guys, I love you so much. Have a fantastic day.